Hey everybody, it's Jeff, Star Racing D17, and today you can see we don't have any tires on this thing. So I'm going to give you guys a quick video on how I do tires on my bike. 1,000 different ways to do it, just like having sex, good ways, wrong ways, but you can do it. So we're going to go over what you need. This is what I use. If you don't have it, I don't know what to tell you. Tire spoons. You need 3 of them. And you need the good ones. Let's see if I can get zoomed in on that. These are a low profile spoon. You don't want those Mickey Mouse ones. These are Motion Pro, but you want them to have a little flat head on them like that. You're gonna need soap and water. Baby powder, I prefer Monkey Butt, sponsored. Not really. And just a couple basic hand tools for your valve stem, your tire tube, and your rim lock. And that's it, and an air compressor. You're gonna need an air gauge. So that's it. So I'm gonna go through, show you how we do this. Step 1, obviously, you let all the air out of the tire. It is cold right now. It's February, I don't know, 13th. So the other thing you wanna make sure is that this tire is not freezing rock solid hard. I just brought them into my house, put them in my washer and dryer room. The dryer keeps it nice, heat from the dryer kept it nice and warm so that the tire is malleable. So, got the air out. What we're gonna do is break the rim free. Oh, here's the other thing too, I'm sorry. This is my tire changing setup. Milk crate, Menards bucket, and that's it. Put the rotor side down so we don't have to hit our hands on anything. And before I break the bead loose, I'm going to lubricate. And I'm going to lubricate again. Alright. So now, rim lock. Don't push down there because it ain't going to do nothing. So what I do is I go on each side. There you go. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing the tire down into the channel of this rim. And I'm going to zoom in now. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So what's nice about the bucket is you can spin it around and it just makes it easy. And again, I'm just breaking the rim free, breaking the tire off the bead, and I'm going all the way around. And I'm showing you guys this on the front because the front is typically the hardest. Don't know why, it just is. Alright, so now that we've got that done, we're going to grab our wrench and we're going to remove the rim lock. KTM's, the rim lock's a 10mm. Now, you want to push your rim lock in to make sure that it'll move, number 1, so that you can break everything free. So now, I start on the rim lock right here. That's where I'm going. That's what I do. So before I put my spoons in, I'm going to make sure I push down on this end and make sure I get that side all the way down. I got the tire down into the rim. I'm going to take my spoon, and I always save my tubes, so I try to do this so that it's done right, number 1, and I don't rip my tubes. So I'm going to go ahead and space these out like so. And now on the front side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the rotor side up. The reason I leave the rotor side up, it gives me a spot to holster my spoon underneath, and you're going to see here in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. See, that was really harsh. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that bead down in there. Oh yeah, there we go. So And that's what I'm talking about. I can holster that underneath there. Holster that one. Holster that one. And now, I can move my spoons. The biggest thing is, ooh, look at these tires are cracked. Anyway, the biggest thing is not to take too much of a bite. You just want to be easy with it. And it'll be 1,000 times smoother. So now, I have, this is off. I'm going to pull out the valve stem. Now I'm going to pull out the tube. What I will do is I will start opposite of where the valve stem is. I'm going to lift up like this with my hands and reach underneath. The reason I start opposite is it's a lot easier to get a hold of this than trying to push this through with the tube being taut. So if you start the opposite end, it's a lot easier. That's how I do it. And so now I'm going to kind of just pull this out gently. Okay. So now I have the tube out. So now I have most of the tube out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to feed a little bit in there on both sides of my valve stem, which is right there. And I'm going to do this to give y'all a better view. All right. So now I got my valve stem right there. I'm going to feed a little bit of tube in there, and that's going to give me some slack to now push my valve stem in. And to remove it. And there you go. And now I got a backup tube, which is awesome. So now that we got that done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the rim lock out. And set the rim lock down. So now I got this side done. Now time for the other side. Again, I'm just gonna give her a little bit of lube. And I'm just gonna start on one side. Now I'm gonna try to get 2 spoons in here at the same time. And the reason for that is, if I can, that's all right. We'll just go ahead and set that one there like that. And we'll get another one in, there we go. Because now, normally if this is a rear tire, you'd have a sprocket that could hold your spoons. But you just have to use your hands, and it's not difficult. Not difficult at all. And there we go. So now, we'll get this side above. And there we go. So, now we have the rim is sitting, let's do it this way. The rim is inside of the tire, as you can see. It's sitting all the way inside. Now, I have a little gap up top right here, and I'm going to use this to pull the rim through. Boom. And that's it, Mon. Now, what I recommend doing is cleaning up this, getting all the mud and junk out of there, examining your spokes, squeeze your spokes, see if you got any loose ones. That's a loose one right there, especially these KTMs, man, I swear, they loosen up like nobody's business. So, you go through, you tighten your spokes. Don't know how to do that? Watch another video on doing that for someone else, and we'll get everything cleaned up, and then we'll show you how I install a new tube and tire. All right, so we're getting ready to put our new tire and tube on. Two things. First of all, we're gonna start with the tube. We are going to get it prepped. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to pull the cap off. Some tubes come with one nut, some tubes come with two nuts. This one has two nuts. We're gonna go ahead and remove the top one. And then the second one, we're gonna just double check that it is snug. There we go. Just hand tight is all you need to do. And we're also gonna prep this with a little bit of baby powder. What this does is just allows the tube not to chafe. If you buy a quality tube, such as I use these, I've been using them forever, have not had one pinch flat. These are STI heavy duty tubes. Probably get them wherever you get your tires. These actually come with a light coating of powder, talcum powder on them. So that's gonna allow the tube to not to chafe, and it's gonna allow it to slide into place better on your tire so that you don't cause any issues. So the next thing I'll do, I'll take this and I'm just gonna put a little bit, excuse me, in the tire. And then I'm just gonna take my hands and I'm just gonna swash this thing, I'm just gonna swoosh it around, and I'm just gonna put a bunch of baby powder. Not a bunch, I'm just gonna put a little bit of baby powder in here. That way, it's got a nice little soft coating on it, keep the tube from chafing. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so now I just pretty much took that talcum powder, I just rubbed with my hands, I'm just rubbing it on the inside and the sidewall. And then I just take a blowgun or whatever, and then I will just spray out the excess talcum powder. Pretty simple. All right, so the tube is prepped. The tire is prepped. If you don't have any, just put a light coating of talcum powder on this, and this thing's ready to go. Oh, and the last thing you want to do, I'm sorry, I forgot. So we're going to want to pull the valve core out. There we go. Valve core is out. And there we go. All right. So I'm going to try to do this, keep everything in focus on the camera. So, also, check to see if your tire is directional. Some are, some aren't. I would not buy a directional dirt bike tire. That way, worst case, you're on a budget and you need to flip it, you can flip it without having bad effects. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the outside of it. Do that, and then we're just going to wipe this like that. Spread it. Boom. Boom. So, make sure I got everything in the shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to push the tire down flat. I'm going to take my rim and I am going to do the rotor side in, and I'm going to just push it down in there. Make sure that's all in shot. Flat to open it up. And then I am pushing the tire into I'm pushing the rim into the tire. And there we go. So now the rim is inside the tire. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one side first. I'm going to start with the rotor side up, and all I'm going to do is we're just going to get this one side off. So let's go ahead and we'll start there. Make sure everybody can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to take 3 spoons and I'm just going to get them positioned. That way they're ready to go. This side's probably going to go on super duper easy. As you can see. And now I'm going to start from each side. There we go. So 1, 2, and here third one. Remember, you don't want to get too greedy. You just want to take nice, easy bites. All right. So there we go. We got one side done. Now we're gonna come over to this side. So we're gonna go ahead and take our rim lock. We're gonna make sure the rim lock is clean. There's no mud, there's no dirt. We don't need another one. And we're gonna go ahead and position that in the tube, inside the rim tire. And then I'm going to take my rim lock nut and I'm just gonna thread it on there just a couple of times. And the reason I'm doing that is that way, number one, it doesn't fall in there and gives me something to grab a hold of. So now we got that. Time to go to the tube. You are going to want to start with the valve stem. So just like when we were taking it off, we'll go ahead and lift that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this tube and I'm going to try to kind of get the shape of the wheel here at the bottom. And I know a lot of people kind of can have problems with this, but it's not too bad. There we go. So now we got the rim, we got the valve stem in. I'm going to take this nut. I'm going to go ahead and install it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this all the way. That's about halfway. And I'm going to start feeding some of the tube in here. There we go. Now I'm gonna crank this sucker down, not crank it down, but I'm gonna lock it down here. There we go. And the reason I'm locking that down is so that this does not stay straight up and down. You don't want the valve stem to get kicked at an angle. You just want to keep it straight up and down. So now that we got that done, we're going to start installing the tube. And just pretty much just like any installation of a tube, you're just going to work your way around. When you're feeding the tube in there, you want the tube to be flat. You don't want to like have it twisted like this and put it in. You want it to kind of stay flat how it is with its shape. And then as you get towards the end, it's going to start to tighten up. And then I usually just will pick a spot just like that. Put it in. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, the important part. You are going to want to put some air in this thing and expand it. That's going to help it. That's going to help it with the shape and keep it from getting pinch flats and so on and so forth. So I'm just airing it up just a little. Boom. There we go. Now I'm going to let all the air expel. I'm going to lift up right here and then I'm going to double check my rim lock to make sure that it is on the outside of the rim lock. There we go. Air it up again. There we go. And you want to make sure that your rim lock is pushed all the way out, because if it's not, that tells you that the tube is behind the rim lock. So there we go. We're going to let all the air come out of this thing. While it's doing that, we're gonna give it one more dose. Wipe her down. Flip it over. Do that, and now I am going to start on the rim lock. So, I'm going to go ahead and position my spoons. I have 1, 2, and then I'm pushing my rim lock in. And then I'm going to grab my 3rd spoon, and then I'm going to start working my way. Now, once you got about this much done, there's 2 things you want to check. Number 1 is that on the bottom side, I'll show you that on the bottom side, that this part right here, because you're going to be pulling from this area, you want to make sure that this part is down into the rim, because if it's not, if it's sitting on the bead, the tire is going to be twice, if not more, harder to install. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking my time. I'm just going a little here. I alternate each side, each pull. Little here, little there. Little here, little there. Now as I get towards the end, the spoons are going to want to flip forward. So I usually just use one arm, and now I just kind of pick a side. Okay, so now it's starting to get a little difficult. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, number 1, make sure that my tire is all the way down in the rim. And that just gave me quite a bit right there. There's a little stuck around there. There we go. And I got one little spot left. So now we're going to keep pushing that sucker down. There we go. Yeah. I think we're about in the home stretch here, guys. Voila! She is on. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to air up the tire with the valve core out, and I'm going to just add nice and slow. And I'm just going to do this a couple times. I'm going to air it up. I'm going to wait for the tire to expand. And then I'm going to let the air out. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get the tube and everything to fit in its shape. All right. So now I'm going to put the valve core back in. And now I'm going to air it up to 30 again. And if you use a good amount of lube, this thing will bead right, it'll just get right on the bead. You want to put like 80 PSI in the thing to get it to sit on the bead. So now I'm going around making sure that it's completely on the bead. It all looks good. The tire is expanded, so now I'm going to final step, well not final step, but now I'm going to lock down the rim lock. There we go. And last step. This nut is not here to lock down the tube. You do not want to do that. You want to pull that thing off, because if your tube shifts, and it will shift, you always see your tube, some tubes get angled or get cocked this way or that way. That's because it can shift. And if that's locked down, it'll rip it. And then you'll be SOL, man. So I always remove that. I use these little, see if you can get a good look. There's like these little rubber grommets that go over the valve stem. These will keep the mud and water from getting inside your rim. Will help at least. And now that we have that done, we'll double check our pressure. And now we're gonna set it down. I'm gonna set it at 17 because it's cold and everything's warm, so it's probably gonna drop a whole bunch. And there we go, right on the money, not bad. And that's it. And then put your cap on. Always run your cap. You'll get dirt, because it's happened. You'll get dirt inside that valve stem and that core, and it'll let all the air out. So then we'll take this, we'll put it on. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it, man. Nothing to it. Just a couple basic tools. And that's it. New meats. All right, I'm Hollywood Jeff, StartRacingD17.com.